it's facing that way.
We'll have to try it again.
How about you? You guys been watching TV in here?
They had the screen up. How's Lee getting along? You ever talk to him?
Yeah. It's fine, I guess. Just busy, so it's- we've got a trial.
Oh,
Leftover. He's a witness. We have to.
I'm sure he'll enjoy that.
No, he's livid about it because it's like 3 days, and they can't tell him when he's going to testify, so he's going to just keep sitting around. I didn't call him, so I just said, hey, sucks to be you. I'm going to be there 3 days, regardless. So.
Wow.
Morning.
Good. How are you? Decided to make some order chaos here.
There's so many papers, so many papers. keep it up.
Before rain, they did.
Morning.
Machine still got a long ways to go.
I got
You want to stay coming?
Give the keys around.
Yeah.
Just barely getting started. And handguns in here today, really.
There you go.
Ooh. Is he out of town?
I don't know. No, you might want to call him. Good morning, Dick. How are you?
May I approach?
You may.
Had an idea. Wrote the governor and our legislator, asking to have gambling on the turnpike. They didn't say no, but they can't consider that till 2032. But it's something to look forward to,
Okay,
because they didn't say no.
okay.
So for what it's worth,
And how would that, affect us?
well, those funds would then be made available
To,
to impacted counties like Jackson.
okay, very good.
Okay?
I appreciate that.
For what it's worth.
For what it's worth, thank you.
Okay.
Unless you feel like
Never did.
you just need to look down.
Not everything happened.
Agendas, thank you.
Just shooting all this stuff through. And then these are minutes of the meetings.
Oh, okay. Official. Okay.
I'm not gonna be on Wednesday. Has to be.
Hey, will you send the one that's signed? That one that's on right here? Yeah, and tell her I'm trying to get one. Yeah, thanks, thank you. Okay, I'm sorry, remember what?
I said, I'll be here Wednesday. You know, when we do budget stuff.
No, I don't, it's soon.
Oh, you got something you need to sign. Okay. Okay.
Was it my passion, so. And I did pass along to the ones that asked, I told them there's a freeze on raises for next year, the ones that could ask about any budgets.
I believe so, yep.
At 9:00, we'll go ahead and open the meeting. With the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Megan, how are you this morning?
Good, how are you
Come on up, we're good.
Should I turn the mic on?
Oh,
Do we
okay.
need that? Nope.
I can hear you.
All right, perfect. Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Megan Bottenberg. I'm the Director of Government Affairs for Cox Communications here in Kansas. And I am just going to additional copies. Really just wanted to give you all a brief update as to Cox's expansion efforts here in the county. I believe the last time I was here was about 2 years ago, when we first started a build in the northwest area of Shawnee County. It was a grant project, and you can kind of see it here on the map. It extended into Jackson County. Over the past 2 years, we have not only finished that build, but we have also expanded into another area of the county. And again, just wanting to provide you a brief update on our expansion efforts to answer any questions that you may have. You can see here what I've provided to you is our service area map that we submitted to the Kansas Corporation Commission earlier this year, and I submitted a letter to the county commission regarding that. But as you can see, in the green portion is the areas that we serve residential services here in the county. So in the, on the left side of the map, you'll see an area, Delia. Of course, Delia has its own franchise that we have with them, but what we serve is those areas in green. And that was the Capital Projects Fund grant that we received from the state a couple of years ago. We just finished that build, and all of those addresses have been launched and services provided within the past about 2 months. So that's great news. That was a total build of about 1,300 homes. So then you can look over here onto the right side of the map. This is a new expansion build. This was our own private capital. So we did not go and ask for grant money. We did this all ourselves because we know how important fiber is. And again, all of these builds are fiber to the home. So the right side, excuse me, is a build up to Hoyt. So we are serving the community of Hoyt, about 200 homes. And then we built out, again, fiber to the home in areas leading up to that community. And so that's about 40 homes, 45 homes that we built out in the county. Again, all fiber to the home, multi-gig speeds, the same services that we provide in the other communities we're providing here. I believe we have a franchise fee of about 5% with the county. Again, that's a pass-through from the residents. But that is on all video services that we provide. So again, just wanted to provide that overview. That the build on the right side, the Hoyt area build, that will be finished by the end of the month. June 30th is our deadline of our date.
Okay.
And then in terms of like right of way and making sure everything is done correctly, we will go back in at that point and just clean up anything that needs to be cleaned up. So if you hear any concerns or addresses about that, you're welcome to email me directly. And we will take care of it, but yes, we intend on having our crews out there to make sure everything's cleaned up.
Well, it just so happens our public works director's back here, Megan from Cox. And so have you seen any issues down around the Hoyt area where they've been working that are going to need to be addressed? You could get them to us or get them directly to Megan.
Okay, do you have a card?
Yep. That's right.
So Scott handles those issues, you know, along the edge of the road, those types of things. If you see something like
Great.
he'll reach out to you.
Yeah, please reach out and I can put him in contact with our construction team, our planning
Perfect.
team, and go.
So in the green down
Mm-hmm.
here, how many homes? You said there's about 40 down here at the bottom, right on the county line.
That is my understanding. It's right there as we
94.
head up to Hoyt. And building that line, and that's really, you know, what we try and do is keep it very efficient, and, you know, in terms of what we build. Of course, if any resident maybe outside of that green line says, hey, I'm interested in services, we certainly look at that and look at the cost. Sometimes we can cover it with our own private dollars, sometimes we can't. We ask for a cost share, so it just depends on the situation. But yes, my understanding is 40 homes in that build to Hoyt.
Okay.
I think my only concern is to make sure you put boxes in down on the road, don't you?
Yeah, the sucking block.
Make sure that they're far enough off the road, not gonna interfere with our ditching and motor graders and things.
They need to be on the back slope.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
But I think from what I've seen down through there along what we call Old 75 or S Road going south, everything looks pretty good, but that'll be something Scott can at some point run down and take a look at.
Yep, please let me know.
Yeah, so, I don't think we have any other questions, but
Okay.
thank you.
Again, thanks for the
Okay.
opportunity. Happy to answer any questions as they come up. And
Do you have any plans of going anywhere else in Jackson County at this time?
at this point, not for 2025. Of course, we take a look and we consider all of those different factors in terms of what's unserved, what is served, that plays into it. Of course, there's a lot of areas that, the ones that are unserved, we're looking into probably the federal government with the BEAD grant funds, which has been put on hold and then now has restarted again, and that's a process. So we're working with the state on all of those grant funds.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a good one. You
Yep.
too. I just let me know.
Okay. Morning, Scott. Morning.
This is we have an annual meeting for the landfill about prices, things like that. The cost increases from the tire cutters and different things. This is what the committee recommended. And there's the resolution that also. Okay, we just need to sign, get some copies.
Is the processing of old tires, has that gone up?
Yes, that's the reason why we didn't do that.
What's it cost to get rid of a
Just
passenger car vehicle tire?
things like $8.
Yeah. They still recycling that stuff, use it for
All the
playground?
time.
Yeah.
The one on the trucks, when we did an increase a couple years ago, someone got away from a smaller truck that was a yard and a half of product, and a bigger truck considered 2 yards. So if you take the $13 times 2 yards, it's going to be something to 26. I think it was at 23, so kind of short ourselves there for a while. So that's why we wanted to get that back in line.
Lindsay, do you have any concerns about? I'll entertain a motion to approve the environmental services increase as presented.
So moved.
Second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay.
I would assume I need to get Mark's signature on that too before I send it off.
Yeah. There we go.
Kind of cost savings things that we are looking at as a group, that A1 alarm system, still would love to get out of that, so hopefully the contract runs up, save that money. We put it in Labor Max last week, to start to draw on people. Kind of reason, just a little history there, the reason we went to Labor Max is because a couple years ago, we couldn't hire anybody. We went to them, so now we have a full crew, we feel that, it's not needed as much, so it'll stop with them.
Did you have a gal that worked for Labor Max that still, was she working for Jackson County? Still?
That, well, we had to go through the drug screening process to get it brought on. First time came back and it was positive.
Okay.
They couldn't figure out why. She contacted them like she's supposed to. and they were thinking some kind of diet pill, and she's on a new diet pill, so she came in and took the test again, and come back negative, you know, but at that time, that's when we decided that we were gonna put our own guys in mowers, because that's what they're gonna do, first mow, so we stopped that, and she continued on play max then.
Scott, I don't think we have a sheet on, I need a sheet that says she's on.
Okay. A couple other things we talked about was the cleaning service with,
Yeah,
Uniforms?
no,
the cleaning.
Oh,
Out
cleaning,
here at
okay,
the,
yes.
out here at the shop, and then, you know, bringing the consumers in down here. We want to continue with that. Cleaning out here, we could take care of, we used to, you know, we kind of did that as a, I don't want to say charity.
So it's the mentally challenged kids, adults that come
They
in.
do that out there too.
It's 240 a month is what's running this, so. They come out every week, help trash, mop, sweep, in the bathrooms.
And they do both.
No, they just clean out here, they come in down here and help sort.
Are you gonna continue using them there? Or is there a need for it?
It depends on what time of year it is. When we're busy like now, yeah, they come in on, I think it's Tuesdays, Thursdays. They're usually just a couple hours. Like I said, it's not something you have to have, it's more of a helping type of thing. So again, just, I think we got a contract for a year down here. So, you know, it's not something I want to do right at this moment.
Yeah, Kristen, let's table that, and I'd like for Mark to be involved in that conversation when he's back, and we can.
Like, how many of them does it involve?
Out here, they have one supervisor and then like three that come out clean. Down here, it's a supervisor, it could be 1 to 4 to show up, just depending on who's going to come down and help.
I know.
I think we pay each of them hourly so much for the time we're there.
Okay.
Again, you know, it's not a huge amount of money, but it still adds up.
Right.
The cleaning thing up there for years, about $3 grand, you know, so.
Sure.
So it's, we used to clean ourselves anyway. Uniforms, I talked to the company last week and told them that we didn't want their service anymore because we've had just issue after issue with them. So we're gonna get the contract probably over to you, to have a look at. There's some, 3 times since September, they've changed the type of pants that we were getting, for our request. This last go around, Bryson got his 11 pair, and Wes got his 11 pair, and Gary has never received any after 8 weeks. They said they're on order. So the guy's coming back now, they'll let us out of the contract, but he's wanting us to pay for those pants. One thing is, I don't want to pay for Gary's because we never received them. And he was supposed to cancel them. And Bryson and Wes, they're coming back and saying these pants are like $117 a piece. Yeah.
Because they're fire retardant.
No, well, these are just key
Yeah.
overall pant, you know, with the pockets on, nothing special. So, I think we probably will have you involved with getting out of this. But in the contract, it stated, and the sales lady, when she talked to us, said that, you know, if they can't resolve the problems in 60 days, then you're free to get out. And it's, like I said, from day 1 in September, it's just been hassles, and billing's been off. They bill us for, you know, double sets of pants, double sets of shirts for people. They lost, I think it was Bryson's clothes. They lost them and then tried to come back and charge us for a loss fee. When they lost them, and like I said, it's just been a mess. So. My question is,
Yes.
we've got another company that we talked to last week, they're gonna get us a quote. Do we stay with uniforms for 3 guys, or get away from that?
I'd prefer to do away with it and cut the cost. I mean,
There's a $9,000 budget set aside for uniforms per
Yeah.
year.
we can do something else with that. Just, you know, I understand they get greasy and dirty.
Yeah.
I would rather set aside some of that money as a stipend to, you know, to purchase their,
If we end up having to eat these jeans, I mean, they gotta go somewhere,
Yeah.
you know?
I don't have a problem with buying, you know, them, give them a small stipend once a year or whatever for, you know, for clothing. But it's a lot of money.
It is. We don't spend that much, really. When Centos was there, we were doing, and as you said before I got there, we were doing the clothes plus mats and mop heads and all that stuff, so we were spending that $9,000. Since how we dropped off the mats and all that, we dropped it down to around 4. So. Okay, this, I think you guys got copied on that, bridge down at 190 and I-7.
Yeah.
Still messing with that. My records, I've been back and forth with Donna this morning again, talked to, the guy that does our inspections for us. He said if we have plans, it would cost us $500 to have the inspection done. If we don't have plans, it's gonna be $3,000 to have the inspection done. So I'm trying to find plans. The records I have shows that the bridge was closed and removed. So how it got built back is, I can't find any records on.
And this was,
190 and I-7 road. Donna came back and she said that, you know, if it wasn't federally funded, they would not have any records on it. I talked to BG consultant, they're not showing that bridge on the state side of it anymore with a number. They show it being removed years ago.
I think in minutes anywhere.
I talked to check with Tara, she couldn't find nothing. We went clear back to, like, 2004, whenever that was, said it was closed. She said she couldn't find anything. So, I really don't want to spend the $3,000 to have to do all the
Right.
hydraulics and all that stuff again,
Right.
so I will. Don Husky, which is with the state, is on vacation throughout this week, and so, you know, hold her to see if she can help in the right direction or anything. Other than that, I don't know where to go,
Just lost it.
you know.
and you said it was I-7?
Yeah, from I Road, so it's just before J.
Typically it's like, 190, I'll look it
Yeah,
up.
I-5 would be halfway across.
Right.
8 is all the way across.
Yeah. 4 would be halfway across.
True, right, sorry.
No, that's okay. Okay, and you said the bridge is there,
Oh, yeah, nice concrete bridge.
but you don't know when it was built or anything about it?
It would have had to been after 2004. Like I said, the paperwork I found is when, and we were doing the inspections up until then. But on that paper, I think I gave you a copy before where it said that the bridge is going to be closed and not open for traffic and to be removed. And then it also says about Fairburn and Potawatomi would be responsible to resume.
So
ownership.
they've replaced it
They
legally.
said they did. Like I said, we have no paperwork stating that they accepted that.
Right. Okay.
And then look at your old file
this is the last thing I found. Like I said, there's, and I sent that to Dawn, and she said that's not acceptable. There has to be something from the tribe that says to accept ownership. With a memorandum thing or something.
Memorandum of understanding.
Yeah. So it means I just need to write one of those up.
Well,
No.
I mean, I think we have issue there, because I don't think you could write it up, I don't think you can transfer interest like that. I mean, it's
Yeah.
probably, it's commission who could do it, but, I mean, I'm still at a loss here about who's on first. I mean, I guess we know we need to take it out, right? But what do we know? We don't know.
What I know is just what that paper tells me,
Yeah,
is that we said the bridge do not support traffic anymore, is closed and to be removed.
okay.
That's all I know. But I know there is a bridge there. I have pictures of the old bridge. I have inspections of the old bridge.
Maybe you don't have, and nobody who would have been in the loop on building the bridge or doing whatever has any record of us doing it.
No, because they said they don't keep them that long. I went back to BG Consultant, which is their name on that paper, and they don't have anything.
I think until such time as somebody produces something of evidentiary value that says we did it or they did it, I'm kind of not going to commit to anything.
And like I said, Don doesn't care who's it is, just so it gets inspected.
Well, I think we do kind of care.
Yeah,
I mean, not particularly just because of anything specific about this, but generally, I think there's got to be some discipline about who's in charge of what. So, I mean, if there's a gray area because it's a past practice, we can't just kind of paper over it.
we have met with Lisa Wamigo last month, and we're starting to go through our areas down here, and get things in writing of who's responsible for the road and bridge on that road and everything like that.
Okay.
So we have started that process, it's just not moving too fast.
Yeah.
We're supposed to have another meeting with her, and they canceled, and it's gonna reschedule, and haven't heard anything back from them.
So, that's the bridge?
Okay, yes.
That's it right there. Yeah, that's it.
That's a nice concrete bridge.
We did,
I find the records of it.
I mean, that's just last year. I don't remember.
2004?
2004.
Yeah, not 24, no, 2004.
Hmm. So, I guess when you meet with her, see if they have any record of it. You want this back?
If you want. Just copy one of them.
Yep.
Who wants to give this for Mark to sign?
If you would, just make sure I get copies back so I can email it off to the state. Okay. Don't know if anybody's been up 234 Lane lately, but we have started the tree process, getting moved out of there. Our hoe we had in there, we were cleaning up with the other day, they broke it, one of the steel hydraulic lines off.
That's why he stopped.
Yeah, Wes is down picking it up right now, so should get it back running today.
Will you call Scott Foster
Okay.
and Cole Gerhardt, because they'd like to know, since it's been surveyed now,
Uh-huh.
what'll happen with the water and the driveways and stuff?
Yep.
Give them a call.
Just to bring you all up to date, we're thinking where the pivot point is right there at the edge of the grass, Scott Foster's is at. where that driveway comes out here and the other one comes out over here. It's kind of right down here. So we're trying to not go any further to the west, which I don't think we have to. The little plank thing that your son has out there, try to take part of that out, and then the rest of it will go to the west. So shouldn't be a lot of damage or increase in, according to the survey, we'll still be within our right of way on the west side. We will have to put a tube down through that ditch and fill that in and rock it. Telephone pole, like I said, we've already talked to, the city.
Is that city?
Yeah, yeah, and we've already got the plans where to move the poles. They're gonna add another pole down, lower on the, I guess the northeast corner of the circle, where there's not so much slack in the line and, to get too low for our equipment. So they're gonna add a pole. Like I say, Brightspeed has come in, they've got their stuff, disconnected and moved. Waiting on Giant, I stopped by there again last Friday, talked to them, still haven't got any answers back from them yet. Matt has been in contact with Doug Savage, the water, and said everything looks good there on that side of it, so. Like I said, so
If you just call those two and so that they know what's.
Talked to Steve Sudbeck about the fence up there along the south side, and Coletta Carlson first, about the fence there. The power company would like us to knock those trees off that dam, because there will be probably problems later. They've turned them back, but we're going to take them down. Ms. Carlson said she would like to keep her fence intact as much as possible, which we know. Steve Sudbeck said he didn't care if it was fence or not, so we're not being too concerned with that. Let's see. We also got an email this week, I guess the state went through and they do surveys on our bridges and stuff, and they come up with this one here. And it is 19 feet, 11 inches long. So to be considered a bridge, it has to be 20 feet. So they want us to take this off of our inventory list. Is that 1 inch? So something new I've never done, Matt's never done, so we're going to start that process too on how to remove the bridge from our inventory.
Okay. Removing it from the inventory, meaning it would never qualify for replacement by the state of Kansas?
All right, again, I'm just starting to dig into it.
I mean, that sounds like they're disqualified bridges.
To me, it's, you couldn't get any government funding to replace it.
True, I think if they don't inspect it anymore, you have to bother them, I guess. Okay, bridge stretcher?
Go on.
But there's just one?
Yeah. The two we put in over here on 254 here last year, we did the 2 bridges that we replaced, and we did the 2 tubes there in that one area. We've had, with the big rains we've had some washout in between the tubes and some undermining a little bit, so Matt's gonna try to get back in there this week and repair those. So like I said,
Just some riprap needs to go in there?
so, yeah. Well, on the north side, we'll tuck some 6-inch down underneath the tubes, because it's coming down and just eroding that away. Then on the other side, some water's ran off the road between the 2 tubes, and just all the stuff we had in there just washed it out. So, like I said, just some maintenance stuff, but the road's probably close for the day, or half the road at a time. Ditching, they got some ditching done on T Road and 176. They're just starting on some W and O Road and Delta 9 Highway. We put some rock last week over there on a T and 262. There were 5 riders in here, but they paid for that rock years ago to have that as a gravel road, so we've got that done now. Did some work on 286, parallel, just get some things fixed up there. Same with J4. The big fuel tank, we finally got it all set, not all set, it's set.
Set in
The
place.
Electrical and the pump box where you can code in is not installed yet. Brett thought we had the box. We don't have the box, so he doesn't know where the box is at, so he's checking on that. See where we are with that. We talked to Sam Sarver again last week, had a video call with them. The plug, Bryce was talking about on the semi trucks about not being able to tighten down. We found out if you put the nut on this side first and then tighten the nut on the back side, that it will stay secure. He was putting the nut on the back side and screwed this nut in and just twisted. So hopefully we get that fixed.
Well, I guess that's the question, are you guys okay now, or what?
No, we're not.
Okay, well, here, just so if we're gonna hit that topic, here's what I started, and I thought we ought to just get our list, get some specifics about.
Okay. It is.
This is just a draft, and what my thought was after looking over all this is that, you know, the way I like to handle these is that if we have a problem, the first rattle out of the box for me is not, we're gonna sue you, it's gonna be, here's what our problems are, you know, what are you gonna do to correct them? And I kinda like to be, you know, not like tell them everything, just say, here's like a couple of things that we really have to get fixed. I mean, not that it's the sun shining off too brightly or whatever, it's just, is it working? And so this is, then I would say that if we're still, you know, a month or two or whatever, we're still having problems and they have talk to us or we're not doing it, then we kind of lift it up to the next level where I'm starting to, you know, tell them how it goes and that we're really gonna move. So,
Well, this one here, let's see.
yeah, the only one I brought up is the length of cable, which I thought was talked about last time, and exactly everything was.
Yeah, and we did find out when we talked, their instructions say that this box needs to be in the clear sight of sky or ground. So, to me, that's going on the outside of the cabin here. They're saying now that that's just kind of a overall statement, that it does not have to be outside the cab, that it can be inside the cab. So to me, they're kind of contradicting themselves, and if you put it inside the cab, then yes, the cable is long. Being outside the cab, the cable is not long.
And so, inside the cab, it works just fine.
They're saying it would.
That's it, we haven't
They-
tried that yet.
They told us to put it in and try it, so, again, with the box that we have is different than the box that we had for the trucks. The trucks are probably about that size, a little thicker, but about that size. They're lightweight, and you can just zip tie them up. These other boxes are a metal box, they're about like that, about that thick, and it says that it needs to be mounted somewhere. When you go drilling holes into a cab with a Caterpillar or John Deere, you void the ROPS warranty, for safety. So
Can you build
we're still trying to figure out where to put those at. And also the plug style that came in on these, because the plug style on the trucks are different than the plug style for the cabs.
Right.
And there's a plug and then a little jump plug that comes off of it. There's no place to mount these plugs. There's no way to, there's no nut or nothing to mount this plug, so you just leave the
So,
cable hanging, I guess.
so then we need them to come out and
That's what Bryson said. I'd like them to come out and
help
show us how this goes.
Yeah. give us their technical support.
And I did talk to Matt, he's the salesman, he said he's gonna be out this way the next month. Don't think we're gonna wait that long. He was just up in Omaha last week, he was down in Wichita the week before. I said, we're not that far away, and I couldn't come that far. Again, the deal with the other plug, Bryson got with me after our meeting Friday. So we're in contact with him on that plug yet. The information about working with the STAR program, it's been over a month ago where I contacted Samsara and said that Jeannie was waiting on information. Jeannie, when I talked to her, they say they're waiting on information, and Jeannie means they're waiting for them. So I said, get a hold of each other, and I told Jeannie and let her know that they'd be contacting her, and supposedly they did. But here at this meeting Friday, we're still at the same point, waiting on information. So their engineer told me that he would get the information, they can get it to Jeannie very soon. Basically, it's data that we have created, and to talk to the STAR system, it's just she wants more of it. And they said they can go in and copy the data, copy the data, copy the data, and just that way she can go download a batch instead of just small amounts.
So they're gonna provide that then?
They're supposed to, yes. Matt said he could get ahold of Jeannie last Friday after we got off the call. So check back with me today to see if they got order or where they're at with that.
Do you want this letter sent?
Well,
I guess here's my first question. Is it operational? Are any of these operational?
we've got, the ones that were first set out for the test are operational, but we just temporarily stuck them in the machines. We didn't route the wiring, the wires are just hanging.
Yeah.
They're not mounted securely like they should. So
So,
we've got, I think, 3 that are actually operational.
how many?
Close. 12 units, maybe. That's all right.
What's that?
No, you've got 4.
Trucks and
24 units, I think we've got 32 licenses. But that's for, some of the guys that are running, doing the forums and things like that. But equipment wise, I think we were at 24.
We have 32 licenses. There's, looks to be, not sure if there are 8 cameras, enhanced TV systems. Looks like 16 maybe cameras total.
Yeah, cameras, I can believe that. But as far as the GPS, it should be, I think, like 24 of those.
I'm just, well, and this is the, again, it's kind of, there's a zone where gets to be a moving target, and that hurts you, I think, and helps you, some businesses, but, I think you've got to be, I think probably ought to set a marker ourselves as to what we think is functional. Right, so if, at current point, if only 3 are operational out of 16, is that good enough?
The thing is, you can probably go out there and jam these plugs together and things work, but it's not mounted.
Like you want it permanently fixed
Right.
so that it's not vibrating loose. So I would say none of them are completed if they're not routed and mounted correctly. There's,
Well, did we contract with them to mount it?
No. told us it's just plug and play.
It sounds like somebody should come out.
Well, I agree with that, it's just that, or, you know, I'm looking down the pike here a little bit as to where, you know, the thing is doing what we need to do and who promised what to whom. You know, if the agreement doesn't say anything about somebody coming out and mounting them, then,
There ought to be some technical support.
yeah, but this, you know, their argument is you bought a software license, you know, 32 software licenses and, you know, 20 pieces of equipment. You didn't, you know, buy us to put it in.
Sure.
So it might have been like the police car that you bought from Ford. It has the plug-ins for everything you need, but somebody's got to go and take the light bar and wire it in. And it's not Ford that does it properly. And so that's where we're, you know, you step into that realm of, you're supposed to do this, Sam, Sarah, I got to be able to look at the document and say, yeah, I've got you. Right now, they just said, and at a certain point, I understand that there's got to be some help here that, you know, if they aren't required to mount them, I don't know that, or they're not contractually required to mount them, I don't think I can complain about that. I think I can complain about, you know, whether or not the cords are long enough or that they don't work because you can't, the plugs aren't compliant or whatever, because they've got different plugs for this and they're supposed to the dash or whatever, I don't know, power it up a little bit, that kind of thing. So, I mean, I think we're probably not quite there yet, but, you know.
Let me get with Bryson, we'll go out there and we'll actually take some photos of, you know, plugs and supposed to plug in and mounting and things like that.
I think that's what my guideline is to have you guys, you and the commission come up with what you consider to be an operational product for what you understood. And then I can tell you kind of how, whether or not we've got the contractual heft, if you will.
When you talk about mounting those permanently, and you say drilling into the machine anywhere?
It's mainly the cab. You know, once you cutting or drilling on the cab.
Okay. But we mount radios in there, right?
There's spots for that, there's holes for that, for wires to come through. Because when we order the CAD or order machines, we tell them that, you know, we have radios in and antennas going out, things like that, so.
I think I guess I would call and say, look, if we're mounting the sheet metal versus the structure, can we drill into this permanently and fix it to this somewhere, the back of the seat? I mean, there's got to be some place that it can be permanently affixed and work. I would think. In the engine compartment someplace. Can it go in there? Does it need to be inside the cab?
Well, again, the instructions we have is the clearest line of sight to sky or ground. So that's why we were thinking outside on the cab, you do it inside the engine compartment, again, you're inside an enclosed area, and a lot of heat in there.
Sure. Okay.
So, we'll keep going.
Okay.
Let's see. Ditching and washing, we've got things going on this week, W 287, P 207, and K 267. Places we washed last week, they didn't give a very good description, just somebody's address. There's 6 entrance tubes that were cleaned last week. 3 of them were around the W 287 area. So I'm assuming these other 3 are probably in that same area. Got Tad and Jim, that their 90 days is up here, 4th of July.
the budget.
I don't think so. I don't think it was budgeted for last year. I didn't have Mary look.
Okay.
Well, Mary out here also is asking too, because she's been here for 6 months. On that increase also, so.
Yeah. I mean,
Now, for next year, I've got her set up for that. Or not goes at this
I
point.
think we just need to make sure, at least on these two gentlemen, that there's money in the budget. I know that's a conversation we want to have when we go through budget, your budget with you here in the future, is making sure that there's enough money built into a budget, so if you need to give people raises that are like that, money's there. So, what else, let's come back to that. What else we got?
That's about it.
Okay. I'm gonna ask for the executive session. I'll read it or you can. Okay. So I'm gonna move that we go into executive session for purposes of personnel matters of non-elected personnel. A period of 10 to 15 minutes would be sufficient. With this meeting to reopen back here at
10:03.
10:30
Oh, no, 10:03.
or 10:03.
48.
Okay. So, to include our attorney and the clerk.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Holton Library's trying to expand, and they're raising money to basically help.
Oh, you have your grandson in your house now?
Yeah, he's here, been here for a couple of weeks.
Has he started talking?
Yes, can't shut him up, can't understand some of this stuff, so,
That's good.
boy, he has conversations with himself.
That's good.
He must be a lawyer.
Okay, Dr. Tweed, what is our policy there on, it was brought to me, there's a large patch of thistle down on 126, just east of S Road,
Okay?
and it's like 30 plus acres. Walk me through how we approach something like that. I know we'll send a letter,
Yeah, letter's already sent to him too.
okay?
Then they have a certain amount of time is on the letter that goes out to them to contact us and get the plan resolved, that's what they're gonna do.
And how do we, go on, I'm sorry.
If they haven't called in that amount of time, we send another letter.
Okay.
And again, this is the process.
Sure.
Which normally, once you get through the process, they're all seeded out, blown, same with Sarisa, you know. So then if they don't respond, then we're supposed to get the legal involved in it. And after the tax roll, we come out and spray it. Again, too late in the season.
But if they're to the point where, you know, I mean, 'cause they're pretty tall now,
Oh, I know.
how do you spray that? Is there, I mean, we're not allowing them to use our sprayers and go in there and try to spray that at this point, are we?
If they come in and spray, they can spray it.
Random. But the thistle gotta be low enough that it's not hitting the boom, right?
Don't have to.
Or boomless, whatever, I mean, that'd be pretty tough to get in there and drive through.
The nozzle's gonna be about this high.
But we're gonna rent it to them.
Yes. They fan out 30 feet.
That, Or are they given an option to just have like co-op or somebody come in and?
Yeah, they can do that, they can mow them down if they want, that's still a form of control.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, there's several neighbors that are really concerned these are gonna go to
Oh, yeah.
seed
There's a bunch of places out there that do
and
here
be on everybody's property.
That one there, we've already sent letters to probably 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
Some people just ignore it. We had one gentleman that owns property here in the county and doesn't live here. And we told him that, we would spray him and send it to his, on his tax bill. He says, go ahead. He says, it's probably cheaper than me having it done. I'm serious.
But we don't have to do it with our own personnel, we can sub
We
that
can
out.
hire it.
Yeah.
So
So
we're
we
charging something.
Yeah. So whatever co-op charges we added, you know.
Right. Like I said, he didn't care. They use that land for hunting.
Would you check on that property that's in question and get back with me what the plan is? I believe there's been some communication back and forth, so I was told there may be a plan, but they weren't sure what it was.
Okay.
And
And
just let me
26
know.
and T.
Yeah, 126, it's half mile east of S on the north side there.
Yeah, we don't know all about it.
Okay, I figured you did.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I
Do you
figured.
give them a time frame?
Yes, on that letter we send out, it has, you know, you have this amount of time and that's another thing, how the letters from the state, so we kind of follow it. It's a date to contact us. It's not a date to have it done,
But, okay.
to contact us and work out a plan. That's what needs to be done.
All right,
Again, usually the process, the way it goes, and again, this year, this will drive a lot earlier than before, same as the reason.
yes. Yes, Reese's already. Okay, thank you, Scott. Anybody else have any questions? Sorry.
Nope.
Okay.
Good.
And good day. Thank you, Christie. You read my mind.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
You got anything, Todd, before Gerhardt gets
That
in?
just, yeah, that's just not much really, because the covered city of Sarah was the main thing. Letter went out to EMS again, so second one out. The other thing was I was just dealing with Kate and her in the floodplain issue, so I think that's been moving on. We'll just see how he addresses that long term, but I think we're taking our careful steps to get where it needs to be. So
Is Kate coming down today? Is she?
I don't know that we have
Yeah.
much
Okay.
of issue on it. I mean, basically, she's sent a pretty thorough statement of kind of what needs to be
What the
done.
process is.
Yeah, that, you know,
Okay.
he's got a lot of work on his end before he even kind of hits the even basic mark here, so we can't really do much more than that.
Thanks for being patient. Yeah, come on now. Thank
That
you.
was it for me.
Okay.
Well, I was hoping to have a little bit more for you guys today.
Okay.
My brother was in a pretty bad accident last week. He was T-boned crossing the highway on his four-wheeler. He's
He
alive
okay?
and he's okay. That's all that matters, so.
Is this out?
In Meriden, on Cape Coral Highway. He had his helmet on to save his life.
Oh,
So,
my goodness.
yeah, he's pretty banged up, few broken bones, back, concussion, and an aneurysm in his neck. But they sent him home this weekend, got some follow-up appointments to do, so that took away 100% of my focus on Sindler.
So do you want to push this off for another, I mean?
Yeah, I had discussed with Mark this morning. I feel like with the timing, it's probably best to just try to implement this next year instead of
Okay.
this year.
Okay.
IT, it sounded like they were trying to work out a few more things on their side.
Okay.
That I didn't realize would be a thing. So I got some stuff from them on Friday that I haven't had time to look at yet. And from what I did see, it looks like they are recommending that we do the Bastion posting. It might be cheaper that way than to have IT try to post it for us, but I'll get all the breakdowns and everything and cost comparison and
Perfect.
have all that, but it'll be at a later date. I just wanted to let you know that
Yeah.
I'm working on it. I just have other things that took 100% of my focus, so.
No sense hurrying into this, let's.
Yeah, I wanna make sure it's done right, I mean, with
Okay.
IT having some other questions and such, I mean, it just makes sense to kind of pump the brakes a little bit and just implement it next year.
Okay.
So we'll have it ready to go by the end of next year and then not have to worry about rolling back over with CIC after the fact, but.
Okay.
So once I have everything that I know I need, I'll reschedule. He said Mark from Fiddler said he will be, in town next month after the 4th. But he said that he'll be, actually in Kansas. So he said if you guys wanna meet with him, he's more than happy to schedule a meeting, to discuss.
I don't know that we do
Okay.
at our level. I think
Okay.
you do a good job of bringing what we need.
Sure.
I mean, you know that, and you can answer the questions
Okay.
and talk about, you know, when we do talk about this for next year, we'll talk about, you know, who's gonna host it and servers and all that kind of stuff and how we're gonna approach that, but I think we're on the right path.
Okay, perfect. Thank you guys.
Yep, see ya.
How is your brother? I didn't hear your name.
He's okay. He's home now, but he broke his collarbone and first rib on the right side, broke his left shoulder. He's got a fracture in his vertebrae. They didn't tell me which one, but,
But no
really bad
paralysis?
concussion.
No paralysis at this
No,
point?
he can
He's
move
so
everything.
lucky.
I know.
He is so lucky.
I had spoke with Emily's got the concussion, so his memory's getting better, but he couldn't remember what happened, how it happened, that he even crashed, why he was out at 9:20 at night. But I found out that he wasn't going home from Meriden, he was going to Meriden and didn't have his lights on. I talked to an eyewitness that was the vehicle behind the one that hit him, and they said he just never stopped at the stop sign, said, I don't know if he thought he could just beat traffic, and I'm like, I don't know, but he knows better than that, so once he feels better, I'm gonna put him over my knee. Thanks a lot. But yeah, he's home and resting, and from what I heard last night, I told him because he hasn't showered or brushed his teeth since last week, so like, you need to take a shower and brush your teeth. So he finally did last night, I'm looking, thank God, that kid. You know, 16-year-old boys, you know, they
Oh,
don't,
he's just 16.
yeah, 16, so.
They're invincible today.
Oh, I know, but seems like my siblings and I, we're a bunch of tough cookies, and every time we get knocked down, we just bounce right back up, so. I'm just glad he's alive, but
Yeah,
they could have
for
been,
sure.
we could have been planning a funeral this week, so.
Yeah.
I'll take some broken bones and a headache over everything else, so.
Thanks for sharing that with
Yeah,
us.
thank you guys.
Yeah.
Lauren, you should do that. And if you're okay with it,
You don't
she'll
have anything
cross
else
that
then?
mark.
Not for me, all right.
I don't think we have anything, so,
Okay,
This is
appreciate it.
Mark's.
no problem.
We're gonna go
Since
through
Mark's
bills
not
and
here,
other
she's
stuff,
the
so.
commissioner, so she'll give you the herself. So if you read that, it'll be worth its time. When it- Pete's already done his.
Oh,
If you would read through that and if you're okay with it, Mark, the next thing, you sign it.
this is what you want, what you wanted Mark to read. So he's not around.
Did David talk to you guys about Meet the People? Somebody?
I sent the email on, but.
We did, we actually talked about it.
And you're gonna do it, correct? We're gonna need new photos probably for most of the departments. Okay.
Did we just do one big photo?
That's what I thought.
Are you doing a picnic or something or anything like that? That's till later.
That's not till later.
August,
Oh, yeah. we're-
September.
We did just one photo on the steps, I think, for the
Yeah.
last time.
Well, so last time, the email, goodness, we had probably 5 or 6 photos. Because we did the road and bridge, we did just the commissioners, we did some courthouse people, I went out to Banner, I went out to the health department, or not
But I
the
think-
senior
I
center.
think the reason we did that is because of logistics.
Yeah,
Trying to-
so, I'm fine doing that again,
Or
or,
we could do all the courthouse people on a Monday. take everybody down, you know, out on the steps or something.
Yeah, we could probably do it outside
Yeah,
on the steps and do that on some Monday. And then I can talk to Amanda, and if, Kurt can't get his people here, I can go out there, same with Amanda, and, the,
road and bridge. stuff.
yeah, road and bridge and like youth services, I don't know if they can come over here.
You can catch road and bridge on their Tuesday safety meeting.
Okay, yeah,
Once a month.
I think I hit, yeah, I think I did it like a Tuesday, and I know I went in the morning, whenever I took
Yeah.
that photo, it was some morning, so, you wouldn't mind getting a call out or emailing, but like I said,
Sorry.
it's okay, you can go as much as you want. But like, yeah, and like the sheriff, I did take a photo last year, I can talk to him to see, and it definitely was like maybe a third of the staff, you know? So I don't think he'll be too picky, we might be able to get away with rerunning it if people haven't changed too much. But I can retake it again as well. So I just put that out there, so Thursdays and Fridays are great, Mondays are great, Tuesday mornings are great, so.
Or would it be easier just to do each office?
It might be easier just to do.
Well, I think we did, like I said, I think we did the courthouse bill like on a Thursday afternoon or Friday afternoon.
Because really all you've got left is,
We did that one, so that was another one out there, out there, out there. I think youth services came to the courthouse.
Yes.
So yeah, we could do.
Or did I go on? I don't know, I don't have it on me. And then, we could just do what we did, and the sheriff,
just do what you did before.
and Banner, unless Banner people wanna come up here, but I mean, it was, and I can reach out to everybody too. Do you want me to reach out to Amanda and Kurt, is Kurt coming in and, hey, is he on the tourism board? Okay, I have to take that photo today, so I can ask him.
I think he'll be gone because his aunt passed away.
Oh,
I think that's
okay.
services today.
What I can, if we, well, we've got a couple weeks. David kind of just sprung this on us. So we're doing it with people again. I'm like, oh, we did that last year, David. Usually we wait a few years, but whatever. If we did the courthouse one, we could do it like on a Thursday or a Friday in the next 2 weeks, or a Monday.
The 26th.
Monday's probably too busy with,
Give me time to get it out.
yeah, that would be fine.
And you want to do each office, or you want to do one big picture?
Oh, like you can do the treasurer's office and the,
I don't care. I just need to tell them.
do you have the email that David sent with last year's?
This says city clerk, this is county clerk. Did you see that? And he's already sent it.
Yeah, my understanding is it's already.
I say we just do what we did last year. The purple meeting, meet people, I don't know how to search.
What's that?
I'm not sure.
Oh, you sent it? Oh, wait, we can come that. Oh, wait, no, that's not here, whatever. I can find it too. That was red. That's from many years ago.
Oh, wow, this has Kathy and Tammy.
I think,
You can see that, that's a lot.
yeah, I think, did he send you the new one from last year?
Do you think it's me or can I read this and sign this when it's, I wasn't even remembering reading it?
So it's the same one, I think this one's
Your name, so.
Lisa,
Well, I'm doing this because it's supposed to be.
oh, do you want to go?
I can read it and cross out Mark's name.
Oh, are you trying that?
It's got to be Mark that signs it,
That's what I
because it's his.
mean,
Oh.
because I
Those are mine,
don't know.
those his responses.
Because I don't know anything about his motions or anything like that.
Right.
I can just, I'm not gonna put it on myself.
This isn't right either, because it should be Mark.
Yeah, Yeah, let me see if I can pull it on my phone.
She called and talked to Tara and asked, since Mark's not here and he won't be here, she's leaving at 9:45 today.
And
But I'm not, I mean, was motions and stuff in there? I wasn't even around.
they're wanting somebody to sign for him.
Well, she wanted her to cross through Mark's name and sign her name.
But I wasn't even,
But was she named?
in this,
I don't think so.
but
I don't think in this one she was.
I wasn't even elected yet, but the staff was great.
Right, but I think once, yeah,
Right, but no, I wasn't even in this one.
well,
I mean, I guess, I wouldn't know if this is really correct or not, you see what I'm saying?
right. The letter, let's get it all back. It has to be signed in front of us, no.
Yeah, right, first, that's not right.
Okay, I emailed her.
Okay.
They're just asking that you sign on behalf of the Board of County Commissioners.
Because Mark will be here Wednesday.
They,
Need it to-
they gotta have it, yeah.
Okay,
Did you get?
I found it. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 photos. So this is Road and Bridge. This is people who are in the courthouse. And then we had Banner, Commissioner. Wait, that's not just me in landfill. Then that's Sharon, Senior Center, maybe everybody, maybe on. I don't see anybody. So I guess I could go out there. This is not that big of a deal.
I'll just.
Oh wait, or did they, we decided whether or not consider county employees? I think that might have been it.
Yeah,
They are grant funded.
So, but I mean, whatever you guys want to do.
you're talking about Brooks. Did we have them?
They weren't in last year's photo.
They weren't? They're not county employees.
Okay, gotcha. So I can reach out, I mean, if also with the commissioners of that photo, helping with letting people still work.
Who did that levy?
And then, I am done with sheriff, and I don't know, I haven't spoken to one of them.
Uh,
Sure, they're pretty good job, they're
Thank you.
And,
I wasn't,
I think he's
I
hired
thought we
people
wanted to
in or
do
around
that.
the meeting, and I'm not sure. That's horrible.
And that's
Yeah.
something that
So
I.
I-
Probably.
I know that was a minimum,
And
we just put whoever was there, like, I was like, that's just a fraction.
how would you help somebody down
So,
there?
do you think someone, do you think
Yeah.
go to the
Right.
road photo? Like, or they wanna have it on something?
I think they can.
Yeah,
They don't come and see me, so, okay. Right, we could do that, we could put those two together, and then we could put more people here, make that photo a little bigger, and then still do.
So just do the commissioner and all that.
Yeah, or they could do separate, whatever they want. I don't care either. But, yeah, I mean, those are short big.
Well, you go see what your schedule is, like, for instance, if we did like the 26th, that would give you time to get it.
Yeah, let's just do that, and then do you want me to talk to, I can talk to Amanda,
And
And
I
then
thought about that the other day, and I thought,
Amanda, Scott, the sheriff, I heard. I mean, you can still, I mean, I guess you can still send an email, but I can also just be like, hey, I'm gonna do some photos of work here. Since I know most of their people are coming in the morning, so, what do you, yeah, so I can talk to those for,
Well, I'll just email the board.
okay, perfect, just courthouse, and then like I said, the commission's working on that photo, or we can do a separate one. people that work for you
She
guys.
says you're the only one left to sign today. Keith has his own, and she is just signing on behalf of the board.
Okay.
This is what we were asking.
Okay.
Okay, so this first page has Keith's name on it, not mine.
That's okay, she just wanted you to see kind of what we were signing.
So take
She didn't
the
want
back
you to
page and
sign
right there.
something blind.
So can you, are you gonna be the notary?
No, you'll have to go from every silver chain.
Okay.
And then I'll
We
need.
just
I had-
cross through his name and put mine?
Yes, that's
I
what
had
she
Lisa
said.
do it this morning, so.
Okay.
It has to be a notary seal, not
She
mine.
charged me $5.
I would have charged chocolate this time of year.
And there's a fireworks question mark on that.
On the payroll,
Payroll.
or the, yeah,
Was that whether it needed paid or not, or?
question mark. Is that a contribution to one of the,
You don't need that.
Okay, I was just saying,
I'll
because
throw
we
it
get
away.
approved
Throw it away.
$1,500.
Yeah. My sticky note must have got stuck.
Okay.
whole crowd coming in?
Well, drug me down here.
Our request from Mark last week about the drug screen. So
Oh, yeah.
We had our meeting this morning at 10,
Okay.
so here's our results.
Okay.
Basically, what I'm looking through on the regulations, I can do the non-DOT ones and the accidents, no problem. The DOT ones are gonna be a problem because of the way the feds have the regulations on that, which doesn't make much
Quarterly
sense.
and annually.
Yeah.
And then all the
Reporting of it.
reports, and all the
Reportings.
reporting that, I mean, there's stuff on there that I don't have access to, so. I'll be-
So maybe it makes sense to just continue the way we've been doing things.
Yeah, except for any non-DOT,
Right.
we're gonna go through him.
And you're good with
So-
that?
I'm great with that, yeah.
With the driver DQ that we're doing, they also do our pre-employment screening for our DOT, which is cheaper than what the county pays for it to have, Mary do it.
Oh, okay.
So, now, non-DOT should still do that, and he can do the drug testing part of it. But DOT, it's cheaper to go through here for their background checks.
Yeah, you get
And-
feds
and-
involved, things get.
And they also, I mean, we're required to do annual motor vehicle reports. So they also do that for us within this program.
Okay. I'm good with that. Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Get that minutes.
Nope.
So yeah, any non-DOTs or accidents, I do.
Okay.
I have to buy a new docking station, $200. Don't know.
Yeah.
Erin found the cheapest one she could
Your
find,
problem,
so
not mine.
that will be compatible. So,
Yeah, very good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Erin.
Yeah.
Linda, will you give that to Tara when you get done?
Just
Yes,
go to Tara,
Tara.
yes.
Thank you. This is Christie. Linda just did this, and I have to show you that. All right. Kate's gonna do it.
Okay, dude. Linda will be back in just a few. She's got some business on the second floor.
It's the two of you.
Yep. So we'll wait till she gets back. And I will continue reading. I don't know if you heard me this morning talking to Justin. So the representative from the bank across the street called me, and was very appreciative of himself the other day on doing some research and finding something. And so, and he said, I said I've never met him, but he wouldn't quit until he found what we needed, and he did a good job of finding it. So I passed that along to you. So,
Good deal.
yeah.
I tried to rename you.
Who am I today?
You were a bunch of gibberish. I don't know what we're doing that day. I'm going to make sure that it's in the Thank you.
Christie, did you give them?
I showed it to him, but you can probably explain it better than I did.
I said this on our side.
He's gonna say.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
Which one do you want to start with?
That house bill, Christie talked to you about it a little bit on Friday,
Okay.
about what that looks like for the county, when those items go away.
Yeah. She just mentioned.
This is just your copy so you can see we have a visual on it. I've also included that summary from PBD on that, and that explains
From
it.
who?
PBD.
Evaluation,
Oh,
this thing.
okay. I've still looked at this one.
Okay.
So, up here on this, like these are the classes that,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's commercial items. That's like the UTV, ATVs, golf carts, motorized bicycles, trailers. This is, used to be boats, were under 6 feet, but now it's just like miscellaneous boat motors and miscellaneous boat stuff. 7 is boats. Yeah. And then it's just all the plot, taxi units. So it's a breakdown of what each taxi unit will be using.
And so on the back page, it says 723,000. That's the total number of taxi units
Assessed value,
assessed by.
total assessed value. So.
And that will affect the mill levy number by quite a bit.
It's gonna be about 50,000, and a mill this year is 162. So I have a mill. Well, I guess
So-
depending on what,
So we're allowed to not be revenue neutral in order to be revenue neutral? I mean, to generate the income that we had last year, we have to be, we can't be revenue neutral. I mean,
it's, yeah, it's confusing, I get what you're saying. Because you want to try to look at what tax dollars you need to bring in and not your R&R.
So it does say printing and postage reimbursement extended through 2026.
Through 2026. Then I think that a little more on the budget.
I mean, that's what it says.
Some of those, it tells you what statute it's amending. Yeah. On that second page, it tells you what statute.
information for us.
No, just wanted you all to see it, because Jamie put that together, because we were wondering how that was gonna affect
Yeah.
everything. And then I got the minutes from the meeting, and then, special use
The cemetery.
letter, yeah. If that looks good to you guys, I will end up filing that in the deeds office.
I'm sorry. say that
Once you look that over and decide it looks good, I'll file it in the deeds office and send an email.
Questions?
And then it's on variance meeting. The official.
I mean, we're fine. Sure. So, the board of zoning appeals, did this guy get a building permit originally?
He did, he's going to after he got approval for the variance.
But he already poured the concrete. So he did. So he did not get a building permit to start.
Prior to that slide being poured, no, he did not.
Okay. So,
So he came in for a building permit,
okay,
and we noticed that where he was placing it would not meet setback, so he has to apply for a variance. Will not issue a building permit until he gets the variance for the slab that is.
but my
Yeah.
whole point was, did he put the cart before the horse?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, he poured the slab and then went up.
Yes,
How was that brought up, that he was he poured the slab
Right.
without a building permit.
Right.
How did he know that he didn't meet the variance?
Because he came in for a building permit and we
Based on
set it up and-
what prompted him to come after a building permit after the fact?
I don't know what he was thinking, why he thought after the fact was.
When you do it?
Huh?
When you do the building permit?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. That's what I was trying to get. Something prompted him to get it after he started construction.
So I guess the person that poured the slab came in a lot sooner and poured it during that process, so,
Okay.
yeah. That was my understanding of what happened there. He came in for his building permit and said the slab is there. We were looking at the site plan on that, said the setback was not gonna work and we had to get a variance for that before we issued the building permit.
Do you have any questions on the variance? Then this is reasonable.
I don't know if I forwarded that to you or not.
I think, yes. I think I knew that.
Yeah, you sent that to us.
Okay. And then I also sent you a couple of letters that I sent out.
On the commissioner or individually?
Yeah, Commissioner.
They got copies.
But,
They got copies. So we get ready to.
yeah, I will. And that I just went over was Chris Abernathy design. From the Planning Commission.
So the letter that we sent to Horatio, are they not on the reservation? Remember when their house burned and we got their insurance money and we had to give it back because they were located on the reservation?
This one's not, this
That's
property's not.
Okay,
The property with their house is.
okay, so that's different
This is a
property.
different property.
Okay, that's good.
And that one, I will attach the picture to the violation letter, so they know what it is that we're seeing that is a violation. Did you guys have any questions for me on those letters?
I'm still reading them.
Okay.
I'm good with those.
That's good.
That's what I thought, but you sent it out.
I agree.
And I'll do that just so you are aware of what I sent out.
Would you do me a favor and send it to like Kate Kelly instead of just, yeah. I
Did you
look
not
at
check that?
I don't check in his office, I do my other ones. That would be great, thank you.
Gotcha. You want to send to your,
No, it's fine, you send it like you did it.
okay, next, after our discussion about, the county surveyor,
Mhm.
last week, and I called him. His wife answered and said he was retiring and that, he will be getting the counties that he reviews surveys. So weird coincidence.
It is.
He also recommended, somebody and, Christy, did you give that to him?
Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I just got-
We have.
So, in the ADU accessory dwelling unit with the separate utilities, do you all wanna just wait until Todd's here and Mark's here and there's that conversation that any more needs to be discussed, and what do we do about separate utilities and all that?
What do you have, have you found some information or
Well-
have some additional information?
So Martha contacted us yesterday because an individual wanted to build a small home and then wanted to build a larger home later. But wanted to keep the small home as an accessory dwelling unit. And Martha thought that it would need a separate septic or lagoon. So there again, there's that. But septic or lagoon is not,
Unless the
it's not
lagoon,
really a metered utility, so,
unless it's built large enough to sustain an additional dwelling.
right. So she called and talked to Jamie last week about that, and, so maybe she got some clarification on that. So yeah, I guess we'll wait. Just what I talked to you last week about the electric company, commercial main. I don't know any more about their situation. Just that they're gonna require a separate meter on anything that's a dwelling. So,
Define dwelling. Something that someone could live in for long term?
I don't think it specifies long-term, short-term. There is a definition in the regulations, and I didn't remove it there. There is a definition.
Okay.
Where a person can reside, you know?
Yeah.
If it's got a bathroom, kitchen, where you can sustain yourself.
So what we need to answer then, Martin, are whether we're going to object or be okay with electric utilities requiring separate for each building, each dwelling.
I mean, because there are separate meters on garages, shops, bars, I mean, various meters, right? Probably various water meters as well, I would think. Necessarily. So from the meter, from that main, it can branch off into,
As long as it's the same address, I mean, so if you build a shop and you want to put a bathroom in there and you have, I mean, a lot of people have them fixed up so they can have parties and do stuff in there, at least entertain and host people in there with bathrooms, kitchens, full kitchens and stuff like that. It wouldn't have to have a separate water meter, but if it's going to have its own you couldn't have two separate residences operating off one water meter. Having, run across the road and your son built over there, or an aunt, or even anybody, and then just look into it.
As long as it can sustain that parcel, that property.
Correct.
Okay. So yeah, we'll talk about that maybe next week.
Okay.
Um,
And then you have some names of people that, to be the surveyor, we're gonna have to, or,
I don't have the names, he just recommended somebody.
and it's gonna be Gerhardt Holt's responsibility to get that individual hired?
I don't know, I think that would be a resolution with you all.
Right, but she's gonna have to find the individual, or, I mean,
I don't know how that works.
yeah, I don't either.
I have not been a part of that. I mean, that was back in 2006.
We may have her come down and visit with her about it, because I was under the impression it was her responsibility to maintain that individual. We just do a resolution approving it, but, I mean, she has to have that person available to approve for her office. Yeah, do you need to visit with her in any way, shape, or form? You
Not
know?
about that,
Not about
just,
that.
I
We'll wait
mean, we
till
just
things
need to
done.
know essentially who that
Who it
is
is,
eventually.
okay. Yeah, we'll have her come down after we're done.
Do you have a copy of that resolution? Somebody Sarah brought it down to me.
Is that the one you sent
That's a
in the email?
2006 resolution. The one that has all the writing on it.
I don't know.
You have that.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, request for, is that the one that said request for resolution?
No, that is on the health.
Oh, that's, okay. Okay.
But you said you have those.
22, 6, 22, I just, yeah, I got those.
And the last thing is we were talking about changes in ag buildings and sending out letters to those that have not gotten their building permits. And so last week I didn't have change finder numbers, like Eagleview change finder.
Okay.
So it came, so this is when we plugged in new and changes. So changes to existing buildings, whether it's an addition or something new on that building or a new structure. We came up with 1,171 since 2021. Okay? 42 of those were the false positives that we talked about, that's 3%. 630 matched with our system. That means people that have their building permits over the last 3 years, and possibly some of those buildings that we picked up that didn't have permits, because I told you it's around 100 or so building permits that we issue. Probably about 50 of those, and not 50 of those, but 50 more of them are like city permits that we pick up. So some of those are already kind of work. We had left over 499 to investigate. We've looked at 39 of them. So I guess I need to know from what date do you want me to send letters out to people when they find buildings or additions or anything that would require a permit. Do you want it as of January 1st of this year, because that's when Change Finder picks all this up? Or do you want us to see how many are actual permits that would be required? So we have 460 left to review. So Haley and I worked on adding those 39 last week when we had a chance. So it'll take a little while.
Well,
And this information, go back again, this information is from when?
January 1st. So they did the flyover in December of '24. So all of this stuff happened prior to, I think, December, sometime in early December. That's when they did the flyover. So all of these changes happened prior to that.
And how often do they do the file?
3 years. So the last one they did was December of '21. That original flyover. The initial changes that they found, and this was from, I think, a 2018 like agricultural flyover the state does. They found, I want to say, over 10,000 from that imagery. So that was going to be huge because they obviously didn't have any change finder information from previous, so they had to use some aerial to start off with. So the initial year was massive. This one is by far better, but yeah, still 1,100, equals to 1,200 changes.
how would you like to approach it?
Well, we're doing a spreadsheet, because it's, and we're actually putting them on, because we can see around the building to identify what kind of building it is. We just haven't been able to go out and actually measure and take a picture of it. So that will be our step when we do building permits. We'll filter those in.
Because, I mean, it could pick up things that really aren't
That's the,
buildings too, right?
that's the false positives.
Okay.
So Justin went through and looked at those, and those are pretty easy to find because they're like semi-trailers and things that are there that are campers, except campers too. So those were 42 of them. Now the 460 that are left to review, we may find some false positive, but it's not like it's going to be a huge amount. Because he's already gone through and looked at those. So we're doing a spreadsheet and keeping track. When we add them on, I'm pulling the replacement cost new. So the replacement cost new should always be about the value of that structure that they're putting on the property, right? As when they build it. That'll give us a good indicator of what that building permit fee would be or would have been. If it's an ag building, obviously there wouldn't have been a fee, but with this new, you're wanting to do double the fee for not getting a building permit. That would give us an indicator of what that fee is going to be by going replacement cost. So I don't know, we could be looking at 400 some that we're adding in with our building permits. I'm not expecting it to be that much, but
each one has to be verified.
I mean, we can see that it's there. We can do 360 on it and see it. But as far as like the quality of it and all that, we don't know if it's got a concrete floor.
Right.
We are trying to check that they've met setbacks. Most of them, that hasn't been an issue. But there again, if they build something without a permit, then we don't know if they're building it with the proper setbacks. So,
What do you think? What?
Yeah.
That's a good task. And if you just start from January 1 and work forward, it would be, how would that play out? I mean,
it's the same.
it's the same.
So we're utilizing as of January 1st, that was the December flyover. I mean, to determine when that building actually went on, Google Earth Pro is the only thing that, and if they've done recent imagery on it, then we can tell, because it's got that timeline of when buildings appear.
I think I'd like to table it until Mark's back. I want to get his thoughts on it. I don't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna keep working on it, keep adjusting around, 17%, but it will take time for us to get through it. I mean, it could take us months to
Figure it all out.
just get through 460 of them.
Okay. Let's push that one back till next week and I'll talk to Mark or Todd if we do it.
Okay. But I wanted you to have some numbers, so you know how big it was. Alright, that's all I have. Anything for me?
I don't think so. Thanks.
I just want to put that back on the goes radar. Little sunset. On 26, so we probably need to have it on the ballot in 26.
Point
Or
four.
else it's going to be 27.
Point four.
Yeah.
So you would need action from us to go ahead and send it to the state to get them to approve it, and then you'd put it on the ballot.
I think Kathy always went through,
Francis, everything. Yeah, I can't imagine Mark doesn't want to, but
you want to wait until he's.
put it on the agenda and just make sure that he doesn't have any reservations about it, then we'll just vote on it then to have you move ahead with the paperwork to send to the state.
So has the dust control on the road seemed any better than it was?
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
And I don't know, it just doesn't seem the same. So it'll be interesting to see what the,
That's kind of like,
yeah. It doesn't seem to work as well as it did. guess if Gerhardt wants to come down, we can ask her to figure out who she wants to bring to us for resolution.
Can you come back in? Thanks.
And then, have you written it for your reading? Hey, thanks for coming back down. So we have a company that does survey work for us, or for you, I think. How do you utilize them? You have to have somebody under contract, correct? Through your-
For survey work,
Yeah,
yeah, typically we just have their licensing on file and then
And
they
then
do
you-
whatever they need with us.
you send them stuff for review? Is that how that typically works?
So for surveys, the surveyor does the survey and
Can I
then
interrupt a minute? I
Yeah.
don't think she's quite understanding.
Sheriff's
Each county has their own surveyor.
okay, the county surveyor,
Yes.
got it.
Sorry.
And I know they're, I think, in the middle of changing that surveyor.
Yeah, we
It's
found
not
out.
James Schmidt's anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so who will you use then? Will you recommend somebody?
So I don't know who any of the other county surveyors would be. And I knew it was just typically one person, and then whoever the normal surveyors that work in the county, they always just have, and I can't, yeah, they always send their surveys to this person, and then they sign off on it, and then we get them back to record.
So
So
the
it's-
same surveyor does all the surrounding counties?
So we normally see like, Andy Taking, Steve Willett, and there's a third one that's pretty standard for Jackson County. I can't think of what his name is
Havergate?
right
Used to
now.
be.
Probably, yeah.
So then those are sent to, like, this guy, Schmidt Surveying Services, and what does he do?
As far as I know, they just sign off on the survey. I'm not sure what their process is. So like with my office, my job is strictly to record the documents. It's not my job to really police them.
I wonder why we have to have a surveyor under contract, because we pay him a stipend every time he does work.
Okay, and see, I didn't know that. Yeah.
There's a statute out there or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
And I could check, that with my association and see what is standard for other counties.
Yeah, do you mind doing that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then he gave us a recommendation. Somebody, Tim Sloan? SMH Consultants. And it looks like they handle, I can add that, looks like they handle a ton of counties.
Okay.
And then we just need to do a resolution once we find out if that's
You bet, thank you.
who we would use.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, see what you find out if you don't mind, and then we'll,
Okay, so this SMH, is that who's currently taken over, or?
Schmidt Surveying is they're retiring, I guess.
Okay, and is that who this SMH Consultants is on this that you gave me?
That's who's gonna take over. I
This
think,
is
those
who's
guys.
taking over?
Yeah.
Okay, so you just wanna kinda get figure out, who these people are and.
Yeah, talk to maybe your other counties. I see the Bunce's on it, and a couple others.
Okay.
Designate a registered land surveyor to review and approve all subdivisions, plats, or plats of survey establishing costs for plat review and approval. This is the resolution that we had written down.
What resolution is that? So I can look at it.
Oh,
So the survey's done and it gets sent to that person. So why would we pay? I said, so the survey's done and then it gets sent to this person
Mhm.
we had. So why would we pay this tax?
are we paying them
We pay?
to be under contract, or we're just requiring it by resolution?
You're just requiring it by resolution, and I don't think, I only knew that they, like, went over the old plat records. I knew Tammy would send those in if we got a new subdivision, and then they would have to okay that.
Okay.
That's,
See, and I just know that when we have a checklist for our documents, that when they come in, they have to meet those requirements. If they meet them, I'm obligated by law to file them. So with the surveys, there's just that extra spot that the state surveyor, or whatever they call them, I can't think today, excuse me, but that person is supposed to sign off on everything before it comes to my office. So if we get it and it's not signed, we have to say, well, we can't record this until you have that signed. Once that's signed off, that I don't ever see any invoicing or
I don't
pay
think
anything
that's-
out of my office.
That's
So
not what I
that-
pay for it.
It's
I
not
don't
what we
think,
pay for.
I don't think we ever paid
Well, it
this
says,
surveyor until he actually did something.
okay, but that's what I'm saying, it's because it's like, the surveyor shall review survey for a price of $40 each subdivision is 100, for 15 lots less, 150 from 60 to 30, and 200 for over 31.
We don't pay monthly stipend to them, I think. we
It's
just
just
pay
when they
bill
do
we
work.
have something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you might just research this other firm, and if you feel comfortable, and you think they're reputable, and if you can reach out to maybe some of the other counties listed and say, hey, is that who you're using, that type of thing, and then just let us know next Monday, and
Okay.
then we'll do a resolution. Christie can have one. When you do the resolution, get it prepared, and we can sign it next week.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's it. Christie, can I hang on to this?
Yeah,
then?
that
Okay.
should come.
Yeah, perfect.
I'll reach out to the Registered Deeds Association and see kind of what they're seeing on their side of things, because I don't know if it's the whole state's getting a new one or just us. But
Just this, yeah, I
Just
think it's just this,
Jackson.
whoever this guy.
It looks like he serves almost every county
Yeah.
on that list, so I'm gonna guess.
It's a long list.
everybody.
Probably,
Yeah.
okay.
So,
Yeah, I'll reach out to him, and then once I can find anything out, I'll let you guys know what I figure
Okay.
out.
thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Yep, see you.
come in here and got photographed and gone. I think she's actually from Soldier, but I did finally get a hold of her, like 3 days later. But she had a problem with the attorney's office, but she said, she was really going into it all. She just said, I think I have it being taken care of, so we left it at that. I said to call back if she needed to. But she made it sound like she lived in Soldier. I think she has land, but I don't know. Anyway, it didn't matter. I kind of think I know who she is.
You would recognize her easily.
Yeah, yeah, paid taxes and stuff, I'm sure I know.
You good with the minutes, Mr. Green?
I think so, yes, just.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay. Entertain a motion to approve the June 6, 2025 minutes.
So moved.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. So at this point, Christie, because Gerhardt is not going to move ahead with that, does that delay possibly then you going ahead with the new server, or do you want to go ahead and just move ahead with the new server for yourself to move over?
I'm still waiting on the quotes. The CIC is gonna charge me to move it off the server, so I'm waiting to see how much it's gonna cost me.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, gosh.
I think I had, well, Kathy had paid almost $1,800, I think, to migrate it to the server, so I'm assuming it's probably $2,500 to take it off. It was on the house.
They've got to go in and do some work, and somebody does somewhere.
They asked if I wanted to put it on the cloud, but I just don't think I'm comfortable with that.
Geez, most of these are jurors.
Mm-hmm.
I said, most of these are jurors that were paying. I had to fill out a questionnaire for February. I had to fill out a questionnaire for February.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, that doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm all in the pool, we realized.
Oh, that was fun. That was a good day.
Yes, it was.
So you got a pool at your house?
And it was full.
Gotcha. When is one of the twins?
We're hoping she can make it for 11 more weeks. So she's doing August, but I think July is probably.
She's not too far to go.
She's due right around the wedding.
Well, she said you knew that. Like with this adjustment.
That will not hit, okay, that's gonna hit for 26, so that'll be January 1st, August next year, so that's gonna be.
Okay, so it's not gonna affect this year.
For 27.
27 budget.
Okay, that makes sense, okay. I wondered how that.
Okay, but in 27, if I'm correct, the state levy goes away, so that should help some.
That makes sense.
That's 1.5 mils. The that should help with it. What did it say on the sheet?
Yeah, it did, because I thought,
I think 20, is it 26 or 27? I don't know. I want to say it goes away to 26.
well, maybe the 25 distributions for these two funds in the state treasurer. For tax year 2026 and after, there's no authorization for the statewide property tax levies.
So next year we'll drop them off the levy.
So there won't be any for these next year's taxes, right? Right, so after this year's collections, that's it. That's good.
Yeah, they were supposed to be doing that.
You know, that's been quite a while.
So you don't have new ones?
Looks like the same old, same old. It was supposed to, a whole new system was supposed to be put in.
Don't you like that? You got
You
new
don't
ones?
have to ask.
Oh, you do?
So I'll have to ask John about where you're at.
Oh, yeah, this is still the same. I touched it, I mean, I didn't touch the button.
I'll have to ask him about
Yeah.
your guys'.
No, I'm sure that's the same old thing we used to have.
We had ours for,
What's it like?
it looks a lot like that, it's much square and everything.
This is new. I think it's the same old thing. This is something tech. I'm sure it's one we used to always have upstairs. Yeah, it's old. Really, because I've been thinking, that's been a long time.
I think mine's shorter.
Like, why won't something was in here? Well.
Well, you don't have anything else? Entertain a motion to adjourn. Second, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, say aye.
Wednesday, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Can I give you copies?
Yeah,
You wanna look around?
fun times.
Okay. Very good.
You too. Going to Hayfield?
No,
Well, that's good.
going to work on a house.